Welcome everyone to Antwerp, to BC TechDays. Hope you had a good breakfast after the keynote. I'm very pleased to be here together with Horina, and we prepared some good stuff for you. When we actually had a conversation before the conference, how should we split our roles, we decided that Horina will do some boring theory stuff, and I will do some amazing stuff. So let's do our job really great.
And you know, the whole trick is that I will take the boring part and make that an awesome presentation, right?
So today's agenda, we will talk about where we are in the AI field in the Business Central. Then we will talk about Copilot Toolkit. Then there will be some cool demos. Then there will be more cool demos. One last cool demo, not really, this will be the last cool demo. Then we will talk about community ideas that we gathered before the conference. And we will finish with what's coming next and with a Q&A. So, my name is Dmitry, Katson. I'm MVP, and about 20 years in a Business Central and a Central Q AI creator website. Probably you use that. And Horina?
Yes, my name is Horina. I am a group engineering manager in Business Central. And together with my awesome team, which many of them are here, we have developed many of the AI features in Business Central today.
Yeah, so let's start. Let's briefly recap AI features when they appeared in the Business Central. And it first appeared in 2016 with a sales and inventory forecast. So Vincent told you today about these circles. So this was not a LLM feature, this was a regression model. Then 2 years after, we got late payment prediction, and this was a classificational model that actually answered on the questions like yes or no, will the customer pay late or not. And then there was a 5 years break, and in spring 2023, we got marketing text suggestion, and it was the first large language model feature that appeared in a Business Central. Then, half year later, we got bank reconciliation and suggest Gmail accounts and a Copilot Toolkit. And then, in spring this year, we got many more Copilot tool features, and they all work under the large language models umbrella. And today we'll talk about Copilot Toolkit.
Mm-hmm. All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Horina, please do it.
First, I just want to say to the tech guys that somehow the clicker doesn't work, but if you can figure out whilst we continue presentation. So let's talk about developer tools for Copilot. My thoughts was to start with maybe the history behind and what was, our thoughts here in Microsoft about the developer tools for Copilot. So when we started our generative AI journey in Business Central, we kind of realized very quickly two things. And one of them was that generative AI development is so much different than the traditional feature development that we know and we're used to with it so far, right? And you will see actually during this presentation why is that. The other part was that responsible AI has become so much more important with generative AI. And it's not because we didn't have that in Microsoft as concept, and it doesn't exist as a concept, but just generative AI has this extra dimension to it that makes it really crucial in how we design our AI experiences in your solutions and in Business Central. And so to some extent, the developer tools is the summary of all our learnings and guiding and all the user research we have done so far to get to life our features in Business Central. And then we thought, of course, if we have been through, all this, new discovery and learnings, and we wanted to bring it to life also for you as developers to scale the Copilot features across all industries, right? So that's how we come up with the idea, and it truly is everything we have learned, and we wanted to share with you and make sure that you get that for free and get to market quicker than you would have done without this toolkit.
It works now.
What are the parts of the toolkit? Well, there is the signature Copilot UI, which you actually have seen in the keynote. I've seen from dialog page and Copilot actions. Then there is the AI module, which is part of our system application, and it truly is the bits behind the scenes that connect this beautiful UI to the powerful large language model. Then we have guides and samples. And then there is also a common set of functions that you can use for registering the capabilities in AI, for example, in Business Central, also telemetry, tracking usage, and so forth. But, what should we use Copilot toolkit?
So I think that also important to understand that without Copilot toolkit, it was also possible to build some kind of AI features, right? The Copilot toolkit just made it very easy to build because we should focus on the feature itself, not about how to communicate with the Azure OpenAI, what UI should we use. So it's we can very quickly go and use it.
Mm-hmm. And also there is the, when it comes to the signature UI, right, there is the consistency of the AI experience. And it's not only consistency, your solution being consistent with Microsoft in terms of user experience, but it is also consistency amongst all your features that you're going to build in your solution. And then again, there is the responsible AI, which is the driving force of actually many of the decisions we have done in prompt dialogue page today. And then as you said, maybe less code to write, right?
Yeah.
So what is the toolkit? It's very good we specify right now from the beginning what is the toolkit intended for. It's intended for Business Central online solutions. It's not, you won't be able to use it on your on-prem deployments. Well, except when you're trying it out, right, on Docker.
Yes, but I can use it in Docker, right?
Yes.
Thank you.
Then there is the other part is, as you have seen also, Vincent in the keynote, he shows all the layers of AI with deep learning, machine learning, and so on. The toolkit focuses primarily and entirely on the generative AI. And the purpose is to basically assist humans with some of the complex tasks. You should bring it to life in different business processes. And the interaction mode, what kind of experience you can build with the toolkit, that is non-conversational. So what do I mean by that? It means that, for example, the chat pane that I have shown in the keynote, that is not something you'll be able to build with the toolkit. What you will be able to build with the toolkit is integrated business functionality, similar to the sales line suggestions, where the user has a concrete, puts in a concrete input, and then LLM gives a concrete output. And then, of course, a part that is really important, yet again, as far as I said that before, is responsible AI with human in the loop. So all the AI experience has to still keep the human in reviewing the results from large language model. So with that, we can maybe take some time to slowly go through the prompt dialog basics. Now, Ida has shown you an example of how to build, a project plan, and you could see the new concepts that we have introduced. But let's talk a little bit, maybe more in detail, about the prompt dialog page type. Right? So the prompt dialog page type is the core of the signature UI, and it is made in such a way that you can design your interactions. It is quite a flexible new page type, where you will see that you can both have the input and output and different ways of interacting with that. And then we also make sure that, as I mentioned, the user is in full control. And this is how it looks in IL. This is a glimpse, right? This is very simple. Again, the whole point with the toolkit was that it's supposed to be simple, easy to use. The new page type is there from dialog. And another maybe very important thing to know about the prompt dialog page is that it's not extensible. So that means, if I create a prompt dialog and then, Dmitry wants to extend it or remove all the responsive AI guards I have in there, he won't be able to do that.
I can add to that. Why is not extensible? Because when you deal with the AI, it's still like statistical models. And every time you ask a question, even with the same question, with the same instructions, you can get statistically different outputs. So when you want to debug your Copilot, you should be pretty sure that you are debugging something that you are responsible for, so something that you built. So that's why if like you build some kind of instructions and somebody else extended it, it's like, I would say nowadays it's not possible to debug it and understand who is responsible for the mistake or a wrong scenario.
Mm-hmm. All right, and then we have the three modes of the prompt dialog. So these are somehow the concepts that we have introduced in this page. So the first part is, how do we construct the prompt and how do we give the instruction and context to the large language model? And that can be, the input can be anything. It could be free text, like you have seen in some of the example. You go and type your wishes in that prompt. Then, or you can have like a structured input. You can have, like here, item attributes. We have used that in the marketing text. That is all the columns and data. And then you can also have a combination. You can have, also free text and also some structured input. And you could also not have the input at all, because what if, for example, all the data you need is to pass to the LLM, all the context you need is already in Business Central. So then you can just go directly to the generating mode part. And there, the generative mode is where we are going to call the large language model. And here we also have, as a concept, the progress indicator, which you will see later. And then you will be able to actually adjust a little bit the text that we showed there. And then there is the output, which also can be structured or not structured. So in the marketing text suggestion, for example, when you are generating a description for your item that is unstructured, basically the LLM returns free text. But you can also have that LLM returns a JSON, for example, with information, and then you transform those into the records in database. And again, you can have the same both combinations. And you can, in your designs, you can mix and match. You can have no input and structured output, or whatever you think that will make the experience more compelling and more productive for the customers. And for the input, right, that is how it looks in AL. We have introduced a brand new area that it's called prompts. And there you can add fields. For example, this image you have there, that is for free text. Or you can also have page parts, or you can have controls. And here is the generate action that you have seen in for example, in Keynote, in the sales line suggestion. How did we do that? Well, we have actually introduced a new system action area, only specific to from dialog, and in there the generate action is actually a platform action. But you can go ahead and add your generate with AI functionality. Then the progress indicator, as I mentioned, that is the way you actually change the text in generating. I don't know if you have noticed briefly when we were showing the sales line suggestions that you were kind of updating you in where are we in the phase of searching for the items. That you will do normally using the progress dialog API.
I can add to this a little bit. This is really important from the user experience because generation process could take time. If you build some complex Copilot that not just answers the questions, but it requires some data retrieval, data processing, maybe answer post processing. User, he will be very boring in looking into this generation. So you need to update the user what's really going on inside.
Mm-hmm. Yes. Then here we have an example of how the output can look like, and again, this is where the output is structured. And you have, for example, some records that you want to save to the database. And then for this, for the content area, for the output area, we haven't actually created anything special, any new concept. You can just go ahead and add it to the area content. And you can see here we have the fields and the part.
Yeah, one addition to this. Comparing to other pages in the Business Central in AL, you can't add a repeater here. So it's if you want to show some kind of records or subpage, you need to put it in another page and show it into the part.
As a part, as a page part, yes.
Yes. And
we also have the part as an example here.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, and now we get to maybe the most important actions in this page. That is keep it and discard. So we have added these actions here again to obey to the responsible AI guidelines. And what is really maybe important for you to remember when you implement your solutions is that what responsible AI tells us is that you have two options. Either you generate your content, you present it to the user, and then the user can review if that is what the LLM should reply with, and this is correct, and then you go ahead and then the user can say keep it, and that's great. If for any reason you would have to save the content to the database before asking the user, then the user has to have the option of undoing, right? And when we undo, then that comes with a price that you would have to go ahead and roll back all your changes that you have committed. So there should be no trace of any of your changes. Well, why is that, right? So why is that? Well, because the way we have thought about it is a co-pilot, right? It's not a pilot. So the human is still in control and remains in control, and it is also a way for building trust with the users, right? Because how do they know the LLM actually has response correctly and they have no control over it? And of course, how it looks, how do you save the result? That is no difference on how you do it today. We all know on query close page trigger. And then there is a check where what has user pressed, OK or cancel. We also actually have, I don't have a slide on it, I think, maybe, but you can also, let me go back. You can also rename the actions names, right? So you don't necessarily need to be keep it or discard. Actually, we have maybe an example in your slides. But basically, the actions can be, if you want to say send mail or undo or just have any other text in there, that's up to you. So let's move on now to the administration module. That is also part of the toolkit. So we have introduced, together with the toolkit, the Copilot and AI capabilities page. And why have we done that? That is because we believe that customers should be in charge of their data, and they should be also in charge of their AI experiences. And what you will see here is that the admin user can, for example, get first and foremost transparency in terms of like what AI capabilities we have installed and they are active, but also the admin is in control in the sense that they can go and turn on or off certain AI capabilities. And the toolkit supports, actually, you will see APIs for registering these AI capabilities. For example, how do you do that? We have an enumeration called Copilot capability, and then you go ahead and extend that. For example, here is draft a job. After that, you can also go ahead and register this capability. First, you check what happens if it's registered or not. And then you call the register capability, and here you pass the enumeration, but also you specify whether this is generally available or is in preview. And you also get to specify a link where the administrator or user can see more information about this capability. And one also important thing to remember when it comes to, so let's assume you have created your extension, and in there you have capability A, and you register that capability A. And then you have another extension that wants to extend some functionality in there. Well, if you would like that a new extension that to actually be also registered, then you need to call that specifically. So it is not enough to register it once, and then all the other extensions who will come later will be registered to the system. And now we get to the meat of the toolkit. So let's go quickly through that. What was the AI module, right? You will find it actually in the system application under the system AI namespace on GitHub. And what is it doing? It's primarily helping you interact a lot faster with Azure OpenAI. We also have capabilities for keeping you current with the models. As you also have seen just before, the administrator has specific APIs for it. We also have APIs for telemetry and so forth. And this is an overview of the objects you will find in the system.ai namespace. What do we have in there? Well, we have the Azure OpenAI code unit. And you will see later in Dmitry's examples that there are all the interesting functions of calling the large language model that generate the prompt generation methods. There is also the set capability and then set authorization. We also have the Azure OpenAI operational response, which is giving you the full message back from LLM. Then you have the model types, which can be chat completion, text completion, or embeddings. And then we have the Azure OpenAI chat messages that is used for you to specify your prompt, the user prompt, the system prompts, and combining this and making this prompt that will be sending to the LLM. Then there is the chat completion parameter. I think the text completion probably will be deprecated soon. Then, yeah, in the chat completion parameters, you will have a chance to set the temperature, for example, of the model. If you want the model to be not creative, then you should use 0. Then we have also set a maximum number of tokens.
I'm a little bit confused. Before, I remember you talked that Copilot Toolkit is not for the chat experience. Yes. And you have here the chat completions.
That is actually so true. And that is because, you know, any call we have with LLM is a conversation. And when it comes to the chat that we have implemented, that is a multi-turn conversation. Whilst in the toolkit, it's a single turn. So you have the input and output.
Yeah, so it's like when we ask something when we type something in the Copilot Toolkit input, that says the message. Yeah, so and then we send this message, and then Azure OpenAI generates assistant message. Yeah, yes. And this is the second message.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we also have the chat roles, which I'm trying to remember. I think is the user assistant, the tools, and the LLM. So let's see some examples about how,
I can say
use
that
this.
You know, we agreed in different things. We agreed that you will be very boring, but for me it's great.
So now you know the audience needs some kick, you know, and so let's do some demos.
Okay, so let's do some very first basic demo. We have actually very similar to what we had in the morning today during the keynote. So we have projects, and I made some copilots. So by the way, can you let's first go to the next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Can you do that?
Make Copilot discoverable?
No. Okay, I'll do the demo. Okay. So I built several copilots for today's demo, and the idea is that Luke has a 25 years anniversary with the mibuso.com, so we want to make him very happy, and so he will not do anything for preparing for the next Business Central TechDays. So I built different copilots that will help Luke during the way of organizing the conference. So the first one is okay, so maybe this not for the Luke. Maybe here this for the Luke as well. Like the Copilot will help to generate some new ideas. So maybe it will help Luke to generate some ideas about the new topics that he can cover in the BC TechDays. So I want to organize some conference in Antwerp. Suggest me some trendy topics. So I click generate. It sends my request back to the Azure OpenAI, and I get some ideas. So what's there? Health and wellness trends. Do you think Luke will love that?
I think he would love that, yes. But first, beers.
Okay. So there is also some budgets, and what I can do here, I can also refine my request. I can say that okay, but I want it to be for. So we had how many? 100. So for example, 1,500 attendees.
1,234.
Yeah, so when that should be like a new budget here. So it's a very simple Copilot experience. So let's see how it's made of. So first, so we have a prompt dialog page here. The prompt dialog page, page type prompt dialog. We have this is a preview, that is a small mark, small icon in the Copilot that shows that this is under the preview. And like a area of type prompt, that's where the user type. Let's maybe open this once again. So yeah, this is the prompt area where user types something, and just one field, text, and then we have a content area of the output. So actually, when I first saw the Copilot toolkit, I was a little bit confused of, you see this experience of first one screen, then generation screen, and then output screen. It seems like 3 different pages, but actually this is one page. So actually this areas define this nice rendering. And then we have a system action, which is called generate, and we can actually change the caption here. Add a caption and change the name of the. And then we have this on action. So that's where the real magic happening. So we go here, and we first check that our Copilot is registered. So then we set the Copilot capability. We set authorization. By the way, with this new announcement of shared AI resources, this experience could be changed, I guess, a little bit. Mm-hmm. But for now, I'm using my own Azure OpenAI resources here. I'm setting the temperature, and this is the real magic here. So add a system message, and this is our new development language for coding. So this is our just plain text where we describe how our Copilot should behave. So actually, this is the first message that we're sending. This is the system message. And then this is the second message, the input text. That's what user inputted. Then we call one function, generate chat completion. We check, so this function sends the system message and the user message, so and under one call to the Azure OpenAI. We get the response back, and as this is a chat history, Azure OpenAI generates the third message. The third message is a system message, and to get the result, we call this get last message here. And that's it. We then just show this to the user. The registration part is that what Horina showed. We created new enum, and we registered our Copilot. So this is the install code unit. Every time we install our app, it will go and try to register capability. If it will check if it's SaaS environments, then if the capability is not registered, then it registers capability. So pretty straightforward, pretty simple. So now I do have a question for you. How can we put this into the pages?
Mm-hmm. Sorry, I was just dreaming.
Yeah, the question for you.
Yes.
How should we put Copilot to the pages?
So how to show it, right?
Yes.
How to make it more discoverable.
Yes, how to make it discoverable.
Yes, let's switch to, yes. So, well, basically, you have seen that the prompt dialog is created as a prompt page, as a page with several modes. But then, how many users are going to discover, your cool feature? And how do we tell, hey, this is a Copilot feature and not just any feature? And the way we do that, well, I have also showed in the sales line suggestion, for example, demo, that we have the image sparkle. That is a new option for you to set the image on the action. Then there is also another variation which you haven't seen, which is the image, the sparkle field. So let's imagine you have a menu, and in that menu there are more actions, and you would like the user to, first click on that one. Then you go ahead and use this sparkle field option. And then, of course, there is the last one, which you also have seen in analysis list, and also Ida showed it in the example. That is what we call the Copilot. It's the Copilot action. We call it internally Microsoft. We call it nudge, but it's just an internal name, and it really is meant to draw the attention to the user that, hey, when you are on this page, this is maybe what's next action for you, and we are actually using, for example, on the bank reconciliation page as well. And then if you think, okay, this has become too much. Can I, that's what happens sometimes with some of these, visuals. User just wanted to, go away. Then you have an option to show it not in page, but show it in the Copilot action menu in the action bar. So there's these two modes that you have for this Copilot action. And how do we do that? We have a new area called prompting in actions, and so far the Copilot actions are supported primarily on list parts, worksheets, and standard dialogues. But we are actually working on extending the number of page types where this action is going to be available. And with that, let's do more demos.
Yeah. So actually, that was the slide that I wanted to show before.
Ah.
So it's we will build today as a demos different copilots that will help to organize the conference. So first you saw to generate some ideas, then we will build Copilot that will create a project plan. And then the Copilot that will help import the sessions to the project, to the conference from any Excel file. So actually this Copilot, I love the most because you can use it in your production environments for any scenarios. Then there will be a Copilot that will help look to schedule sessions, to put all sessions to the agenda. And there will be event assistant. We don't have, by the way, here the event assistant.
No.
When my session will be, go to what room, and so on. So that we will build today. And the last thing, we will also power this assistant with a semantic search. So that was the ideas Copilot.
That was what I'm supposed to do.
Yeah. So. The ideas Copilot we showed. There are some new things appeared in the wave 1.
Yeah. So we have also seen it before, but let's also draw your attention on it. So part of the learnings we have had, at least when the user has to, go ahead and type in the prompt window is, well, what should they really write, and how should they write it, and what if it doesn't work, and should they, how much time should they spend refining these prompts, and that actually is not something we can just come up with. Is results from our user studies, and so we have introduced the instructional text. Here you can go and specify, give some hints to the user. Hey, here is where you can add your items or your ideas for the project plan and so forth. And well, it's actually a new option we have on the fields. It's called a new property that is called instructional text. We can also talk a little bit about the prompt guides, right? The prompt guide is another way for you to specify, what users can start with and give them some inspiration for how to interact with Copilot. And how is that looking? Let's see. In AL, here we have the prompt guide action, right? And then we have also a new area, prompt guide. And in there, you go ahead and define your action. You can specify the caption and also the triggers. And here you have the examples I just showed from the sales invoice. Yes, Kazim, you can tell if it's true or not, if we copied the right snippet. And that is the copy from order and copy from invoice. And now let's
so
maybe...
these two things that you showed, like a placeholder and prompt guides, are there actually to guide user what the user should type there, because when the user opens something, there is a blank screen. He's usually stuck. He doesn't understand what should he type there. So let's go to the next demo. This is my project, and let's plan the conference. So I have some kind of prompt guide here, like organize a conference. So already prompt guide helped me at least to start with something. So organize BC TechDays in Antwerp. So it's now doing some magic. And this is the plan for Luke, how to organize the BC TechDays for the next year. So it's like you need to select the venue. Probably it will be easiest one. Then invite speakers, create an agenda, and so on. But I'm still not very satisfied. I think I'm missing one thing here. Don't forget about beer party. Yeah? By the way, there was a fun thing with that. We experimented this. Yeah, now we have a beer party. There was a nice thing with that. There is some safety guards that when you send your prompts to the Azure OpenAI, the Microsoft also applies some safety instructions. And when we tested this, before we asked about the beer party, and Azure OpenAI actually denied to answer on this question. We actually investigated the issue. It was because of the party. But then we rephrased the question that, hey, we want the evening party, and it was totally fine. So like no parties in the morning. Yeah. Now I'm happy with this project plan, and I can keep it. When I click keep it, it creates a project in the Business Central. So that's how easy it is. So we have now a project with tasks.
And then can I ask, have you been using the temporary table to show the results?
Yes, sure.
Okay, very good.
I never use not temporary tables there.
Okay, cool.
Let's see how we build this kind of Copilot. So I will not go to the prompt dialog because it's more or less the same. It's more interesting in the implementation as well. So the generation part is the start of this is pretty the same. This is the template. We add a system message, we add then a user message. We generate completion, we get the result, and then we actually do some kind of post-processing of this result. However, I have a question for you. So just think about it for a moment. When you deal with the Azure OpenAI, your input is a text, and Azure OpenAI answers you with a text. So now we receive a text here. Yeah. So this is a response text. This is a text variable.
So how do we transform this to records?
Yeah. How can we transform text to the records? Just 10 seconds for you to think.
And for you to prepare the demo?
No. So the answer is that if we look into the system message, so this is more comprehensive, but this is the issue. This is the thing how we do this. We ask Azure OpenAI to output in a structured format. So in this case, we ask to reply in a XML format, or we can ask to reply in a JSON format, or HTML, or whatever. It's good in JSON, but yeah, we can do this in XML as well. So then we, so this is how we structure the system prompt. First, we describe the task. So we describe what Copilot should do. Then we describe the output. Then we describe the format of the output. Maybe some additional comments how Copilot should generate this task. So let's say we say that we generate at least 6 tasks here, and so on. So that's important thing to understand. Azure OpenAI, when we send something to the Azure OpenAI doesn't know anything about us. It doesn't know anything about Business Central, about the context where we're working on, about our Copilot, about the data that we have in the Business Central. And so it's blank for them. It also doesn't have any memory. So every time you send a request, you need to send instructions and request every time. So that's important to understand. So now we have this system prompt, and then when we got, where is it? Yeah, so we get this response text. Also, sometimes Azure OpenAI respond us. So we asked XML, but it can reply with like XML. Yeah, so it's or maybe this is your XML. So we don't need this. So we can actually do some kind of post-processing to delete some these characters that we don't need. And then we take this response text, and this is just normal, XML parsing. I use an XML buffer, and then we insert that to the temporary table here. So it's nothing very AI related. So this is our AL code is going on here. Yeah. So we have now a project plan. Good. What we can do next? We ask speakers to send sessions, and sessions they can be in different formats. So let's build a Copilot that will import our sessions from any Excel files. So let's look how it works. So this is our Copilot, and you notice that we don't have here the input screen. So this is the input screen, but we don't have a text input. Because our input will be a file. So we have here attach action. And we have a sessions Excel. Let's open that. So I'll zoom a little bit. So we have this Excel file. So it has columns with the IDs, session title, summary, and so on. But we have in we in a Business Central, in our extension, have a new table, a sessions table. So it has more or less the same, structure, because we need to save the sessions. Obviously, the information is more or less the same, but the fields are different. So we have like code, we have a name, we have description, and we have here like speaker 1, speaker 2, speaker 3 and 4, a date and status, and some other fields like duration. So the idea of this Copilot, is to map the fields that we have in a table and columns in Excel. Yeah? So let's do that. We have here map fields. So now what we're doing here, we are sending to the Azure OpenAI. We're not sending the Excel file. We're not sending the data of the Excel file. We don't need that. What we are sending the headers of the Excel file, and we are sending the information about fields in our table. And we say that, hey, these two data sets, please map them together. And LLMs are quite good in these mappings. Let's see the result. So ID is mapped to the code, which is nice. Session title to name. Summary to description, nice. This is also super cool. So a main speaker is mapped to the speaker 1, and a co-speaker 1 is mapped to the speaker 2. That's good job, Copilot. However, here is also a bad job, like a target audience is mapped for some reason to the status. But we should understand that the copilots are not always right, not always correct. So we need to leave the opportunity to users to change the final result. In this case, I will just delete this, and I think delete this as well. The rest seems to me very normal. Also, in the Copilot toolkit, we have this regenerate action that comes out of the box. So the idea is that the generate action appears in the input screen and regenerate action appears in the output screen. So a user can just click on regenerate. It will send the same instructions and the same system message and the same user message. So the Azure OpenAI can regenerate this and probably be better or maybe worse result, at least, or the same. But now I'm fine. I can import that. And I can go to my sessions. And I have all sessions imported here. So now I don't need to write a separate AL logic for each of the files. I have one AL logic to import from any Excel file, which is very cool. So let's see also into the implementation here a little bit. So once again, let's go to the prompt page first. So this is the prompt dialog page for our Copilot. And so it has a prompt area, but there is no input of the text, just some fields there that are not editable, just to show the user what's the project name and what's the Excel file name. So just he was aware that in the context of he is working on. Also, here is generate system action, and here is the regenerate system action. So we see that, so first of all, yeah, so this is the caption, so we can change the caption just using the caption. but the logic is the same here. So I'm running the same logic, and Copilot UI just rendering this for me differently. Yeah, so in the first screen it's generate, on the last screen it's regenerate. And here is a new system action which is called attach. So this is just a normal action. Just it comes with this image that shows some attachment. And but this is our code. So we write the code to import the Excel file to the Excel buffer. And when we go and generate here, let's go to the see the AI logic. So we go first and generate the proposals. So once again, template is the same. What we change is actually the system message. So the system message is, of course, our new IP for this. So once again, you put this in a context. So you describe what is your task, what are your instructions. What you describe the input, yeah. So we describe that I will send you the list of fields, and I will send you the list of Excel headers. So please map them together. And you here describe the Json format that you wait as a response. Also nice to have here, like no comments are allowed, and response should be in a JSON format. So Copilot will not reply you with a, hey, this is your JSON, are you happy? Yeah, so and then when we have this generation, yeah, and then also important thing, so we have the system message and we have the user message. However, user didn't, we don't have a the input here, right? Mm-hmm. So it's we generate the user message for the Copilot. So here we just say that, hey, here is my Excel headers, and we list Excel headers, and here my session table fields, and I list the fields. And then when we have mapping, we convert text to mapping, once again, the same way we did before. And here, when we have a result, so our result is a table, field mapping, I load this result to the subpage. Yeah? And then when I apply, when the user click on, okay, I want to keep it, then I run this apply import of sessions function. I get my temporary records, and then I am doing this, simple AL thing when I go through the mapping and I import my sessions using the record ref. So here you can, I have the sessions table. I use the record ref to refer to that, and then field to the field. I assign the field from the mapping and assign the value, and then I, insert that. So very straightforward, and this is, one code that you need to implement, and it will work for any Excel file. Yeah. Do we have?
I think we have some recap of the slides if you would like, but
yeah. So this is this Copilot.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Yeah. So we have the attach files.
Attach files. Yes.
It's the system action.
Mm-hmm.
Then we have the drag and drop experience, the regenerate method, which is part of the prompt options.
Yes.
And you have shown that.
I did.
Yes. Very good.
Now, This is something new that appeared in actually yesterday in version 24.2. So actually this was part of my contribution to the system model. You can set the JSON mode, and you can, if you can.
Yeah, I did that.
Ah, okay. So the idea.
Sorry.
Yeah, the idea is that in the previous Copilot, I showed you that you should say in the system prompt, like, okay, please don't put any comments to my JSON, respond just with my JSON. There is a new property in now, which you can set as a set JSON mode to true. And in, I would say, 99%, you should be sure that the output will be pure JSON. However, it will also require in the system message, you should explicitly say that you need to respond in the JSON format. So like two places, like first in the system message, you should say that please respond in the JSON message, JSON format, that's it, and then set the JSON mode to true. So this works in 24.2.
Very good.
Yeah. Now let's move to the other Copilot. So now we have our sessions imported, yeah, and Luke is pretty happy with that. And now we want, now this is a complex part, especially when you send your sessions look in after the deadlines, right? It is very complicated to look to schedule all the sessions. But we will build a Copilot for that. This is our sessions table, and we have some fields here, like a date, a track number, start time, and end time. So if you think about the process of scheduling an event, this is actually called the optimization problem, because you have some kind of data set. In this example, this is sessions, and each session have a duration. And you see that durations are different, so it's like a 60 minutes, 30 minutes, 75 minutes, and so on. And you probably can have a conference for 1 day, or maybe for 2 days or more. So for sure, you can't have a 1-day conference and put all the sessions one by one. Yeah, you don't have physically time for that. But you can put them into the tracks in parallel. That's the first thing. But also you should consider some limitations, because the conference should start at like 9 or finish at 5. You should have a lunch. You should have breaks between the conference, between the sessions, and so on. So many limitations. So really complex work. So let's try Copilot to help us. So I built a Copilot which is called Schedule Sessions. And just take a moment, look into the screen. When I click on this, I don't have an input screen at all. Mm-hmm. So now we have started with a generation mode, because we have everything in place. We have all data that is required to put our sessions into the agenda. Let's see if it did a good job for that. So this is, by default, I asked the Copilot to schedule in a 2 days conference. So it starts at 9, finish at 10, and then put sessions in a parallel in 2 tracks. And it's, yeah, but it's, here is a not very good one. He finished it after the end of the conference. So I said that you should finish before 5. That's the first thing. Maybe we can try more days, like 3.5 days. Let's see. So now it's actually tried to reschedule all the sessions to the conference duration if it's 3.5 days. So this is first day, second day, and the third day. And this is, yeah, so this is 3.5 days. And we don't have tracks in parallel here. The sessions go one by one. Maybe not very good experience. No. Yeah. What about 1 day? Can it do the job with a 1 day? Oh no, he's very bad in that. So he lost some of the sessions.
It's called scoping.
So, but that is something that you can experience when you test your copilots, and this is a nice thing that we got this. So let's try to maybe fix this. I have some instructions already prepared. So let's go to this Copilot, and I will add some additional instructions here. So this is a tip for you. If you have a good, you feel that you have a good prompt, system prompt. So you describe the task, you have all this, described all these limitations. You set the instructions, but still Azure OpenAI doesn't really follow your instructions, and that can happen. This can help. Caps lock, important. So these are instructions that are really important. Please follow them. And let's publish that. Yeah, so we saw some scenarios where it didn't do the good job. Let's try to schedule once again. And maybe change for the first day. And it's now doing good job. So it put into all sessions into the 3 tracks. Yeah?
Thank you, Copilot.
Good. We will keep that. Now we have all sessions scheduled. Yeah? So we have here. So this Copilot is, what's the difference between the previous one? So the idea is pretty much the same. So the AI logic is the same. We just used the new system message, and we generated the user message with actually describing the event, like when should it start, and the break times for the sessions. And we actually list the sessions. However, we don't send all the data to the Azure OpenAI. We send only the duration of the session, because we don't need anything extra. We don't send a name, description, and so on. Just the duration, that's what matters for the agenda. And then we got back the result, we map it, and that's it. And also this generation mode. So here you can set the prompt mode equals to generate, and this will start the prompt dialog with this generation mode without input. Let's then go next. Do we have something there?
Yeah. We have the wrap up. Just press.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so this is the format of the system message. So this is actually the template for the system message. Like, describe the goal, describe some steps, and the rules, and the output. So in this order, and this is very widely used the template for the system message.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Then we have the user message.
And the user message, yes, I already described that. You can click then. And this was the new thing there, which is called prompt options. Do you want to talk something? No?
I think we showed it, right?
Yes, we showed that.
Mm-hmm.
But also we showed here, maybe you noticed, I moved between the generations, and this is called the history.
Yeah. So prompt dialog actually supports history. If you would like to see, go back and see your prompt again and somehow associate the output to the prompt or refine it, then you can use that. And notice also in the page caption that we actually show with using the data caption expression, the property. You can actually also see use that property for visualizing the prompt that user has put in.
Yep. And the last one, not really the last one, but almost last one. So now we have the sessions scheduled, and we want to have assistant Copilot. So the assistant Copilot will work something like how many sessions I have in the conference. And it will say, hey, I have 20 sessions. Or maybe I can say, when is the session about AI in sales? And it will reply me. Or I can ask something like, when is John speaking? It will answer me. I can rephrase this. Like, Dmitry speaking. I'm not speaking there. So how this is done? So this is completely different experience. So this is called, like, if you want to ask something about your data, it is the bad idea to send all your data to the Azure OpenAI. LLMs are very bad in counting things. They are bad in analyzing the big data sets of data. So how did I build that?
Mm-hmm.
So this is something new. This is called function calling. So, and if you sleep, please wake up for the minute. Because I will try to be a little bit slow here. So there is a user, and the user asks about, hey, I want to find some hotel in Antwerp for the less than 100 of euros. And I have a database of all the hotels. Instead of sending the database of the hotels every time to the Azure OpenAI, what I'm doing, so I'm sending this to the Copilot as a user message, but also I say that, hey, I have a function inside of my system that search for the hotels. Yeah, so we have an extension that I have an AL function that search for the hotel. But to make it work, I need to pass two parameters: the city and the maximum price. So I define this function, I describe this function to the Azure OpenAI. So I'm not sending the function code or whatever. I just say that, hey, I have the function that is called find hotels. And I have, to make this function work, I need to pass there two parameters. I describe these parameters. And then I put this as a description to the Azure OpenAI, and I can add more functions. So probably I have one function to find the hotel, other function to book the hotel, whatever. So I list the functions, descriptions. And then Copilot sends the user request and the list of available functions to the Azure OpenAI. Azure OpenAI job is to find the function, to select the function that will solve my task and prepare the parameters for me. So it selects, okay, you have a find hotels function, that's probably the one you should use. And these are the parameters of your functions that you should pass. This is the response from the Azure OpenAI. Now, I have this response. Now, Copilot Toolkit have a list of functions available, and it selects the function that Azure OpenAI suggested, and Copilot Toolkit runs this function. It executes it automatically. So now it executes this function, and I have a result of my function in the AL. Yeah. So now my job is just to take this result, and so this is the result of the function. This list of hotels, and then what I can do, I can show it to the user immediately. Yeah. So this is how this works. So in AL, it will look very similar to what you did before, but instead of the system message, you add a tool here. Yeah. And then you check if the response is was a function call, then I get this result. Or what you can also do, you can send this result back to the Azure OpenAI. That will allow Azure OpenAI to generate the final answer for the user. So it's up to you. Show immediately the result from the function or for the user.
Mm-hmm. Should skip that or?
Yeah, actually you can talk about that. So there is a limitation. We have like thousands of functions available in the Business Central. We cannot just send all the functions to the Azure OpenAI. Why?
Why? That is because we have a limit in how many tokens the LLM can process, right? Mm-hmm. So let's talk a little bit about why we cannot just send all data to LLM and what tokens means to LLM. First of all, we have the word language in LLM, right? And tokens is somehow the unit of measure for them. You have here an example. We have 7 tokens here and 27 characters. And why, we actually in the toolkit, we support APIs for token counting. And why do we do that? Well, because that you need to know. This is kind of what we pay, at Azure OpenAI and OpenAI for, right? How many tokens we are processing. And yeah, I mean, when you have a big prompt, as Dmitry also says, that you need to find ways to, split it into multiple requests in order for you, or use embeddings for that matter, to figure out how you can reduce the cost and handle this.
So how we can count them?
Yeah, so there we have also different methods we support in the toolkit. And actually, the interesting thing is that the token counting is a little bit different per model. And that's why we have it here, the 3.5, but then we also support methods for other models. And now the event assist.
Yeah, let's do it very quickly.
We only have 7 minutes.
Yeah, let's just do it quickly,
Yes.
just to show you. So this is the last demo, but this is obviously what you can do now, and that was our contribution to the BC AI hackathon. So let's say we have this assistant Copilot, and like we saw in the previous demo, when is the session about AI, it actually replied, but when is the session about, if I rephrase it, like when is the session about artificial intelligence, it will not find anything. Oh, it is found. Maybe because let me check. Maybe I already embedded this. Yeah, that's because I actually did some work before. So, but the idea is that there is a full text search that we have in a Business Central right now. If you want to find some desk, it means that the desk should be in the item name. But if you search for the furniture, you will not find anything, because like a furniture is something that a desk means, but it's not in the description. The semantic search solves this problem. So it's when we search for the furniture, we can find everything that means as a furniture, like items, desk, chairs, and so on. And to make it happen, we use the term embeddings. So actually what we do, we take our data, like items, we have a description of the each item, and we convert it to the, it is called vector. So we actually send this to the Azure OpenAI embedding model, and it creates this vector. And then this is just a mass of what's happening, how to find similar texts. So you have one text, like which is furniture. You have a second text with which is a chair, and you take these two vectors. If they are very close to each other, you calculate this engine angle. Sorry, if it's very tight to each other, it means that two texts are similar. If not, they are different. So in this case, so what we're doing, we take the one text, we have second text, and we calculate this cousin similarity. And we do this for each of the items that we have in Business Central. And then we just filter out the cousin similarity that is less than 0.8. So that's actually how this all works. So I have these texts, I have these vectors, and I have AL logic to calculate these similarities there. And this is where you can use that in Copilot. So because now you are not limited to what user asks. You just can find very similar items and use them to answer to the user.
Mm-hmm. So let's quickly. So first of all, just want to say thank you, Dmitry, for making the Copilot Toolkit live in so many cool examples. Let's focus a little bit. We have 3 minutes left on maybe not as cool, but super important, which is, how do we test these awesome AI features that Dmitry just showed, right? And I must say that, well, if we thought about before that, some of this test-driven development is somehow a taste. Some people want to do it, some people don't. For AI, it's really important that before once you pass that stage where you go to Azure OpenAI Studio and try your prompt and think, wow, I nailed it, I think this is really cool and it's going to work, well, then you should make sure that before you take to the next development phase that you have your tests in place. And there are different types of tests from our experience. We also, whenever we ship AI features, we do both accuracy testing and also we have quality end-to-end tests. And accuracy testing, why is that important? Because many times you will see that your prompt runs and it's fine, and other times you will see that your prompt doesn't return what it's supposed to do, and you really don't know why, or you don't know what to change, or you have to change the prompt. And when you change the prompt, how do you know you change it for better or for worse? And that's where the accuracy tests come into play. For the other part that we're doing, which is also very good practice, is the grounding test. Let's say an example like the marketing text, where you have your item attributes and you generate a description. One of example is, well, let's check if these attributes are actually in the text description. And similar to some of the things Dmitry has shown. On the quality tests, well, this is what we call internally red teaming, very much focused on harm testing. For example, is it possible that you make a Copilot say some things that it's not supposed to say, or bias, or, for example, someone actually making it do other things that it's supposed to do, so jailbreaks, for example. So this is also important. Both of them are going to ensure that you are shipping high-quality AI features. And, well, you're going to say, well, sure, but then what is Microsoft doing for it? So we also are working on some test framework, of course, to help you and help us as well. And this is work in progress. It's not something that is finished. It's just some thoughts we have. And this is going to be available on GitHub for you to, give us your feedback and help us, finish this. Then we also have APIs for telemetry. We also have some sessions today or tomorrow on telemetry, so please go ahead and attend that. Same with AI safety. We have also security and privacy best practices for AI, which I strongly suggest you attend. Thank you, Dmitry, for your number series contribution to Copilot, right?
Still work in progress.
Yes.
And you can skip that.
Yes, I can skip that. And then we have the community ideas.
Yeah, let's skip that as well.
So then I wanted to maybe quickly go through what's next, because that is always also a little bit the fun part. I have to have 3 fun slides, right?
Yes.
Thank you. Okay, so IDA has announced today the managed AI resources. Actually, we went to a private preview. I understood, our engineering team in Copenhagen has discreetly informed us that actually we are live with the private preview. Of course, if you want to sign up to try it out, that is on AKMS BC Managed AI sign up. And we're looking forward to see how this story is going to evolve. And for us, this private preview is also to understand, how much capacity would be needed for some of your solutions, learn from that, and get this through public preview. What's next? Well, I said that the Copilot actions are primarily on list pages, but they will also come on card pages. We're working on this release. And we also have some plans for somehow to merge the Copilot chat experience with the prompt dialogue, the whole prompt dialogue story. They feel a little bit, separated right now, but that's a work in progress for us. And here you have, you could say a prototype where we will be showing the analysis assist from the chat. And with that.
Yeah, with that. Well, we don't have time, I think, for the Q&A.
But we will be here if there are any questions.
Okay, let's do some. So this.
Okay, my question is Copilot prompt supporting any different languages than English?
Yes, it is.
For marketing text, we are supporting 7 languages. For chat, that is in English. And then we're planning to expand these languages, when is that? Maybe June? Sorry? Fall, yes.
But I mean, the question was for the Copilot Toolkit?
Yes, in the prompt,
sorry.
if user can use different languages than English.
We don't have this option today.
Yeah, we can. I think you can. Yeah, there.
Yeah, but can they specify as attribute?
There?
No.
Okay.
You have a question?
I also have a question.
Okay, sure.
Do you have any limit of the system text or user input, in terms of length?
The limit of the system text? Yes, so it's dependent on the model. So
it depends on the model.
Yes, so it's for you. Yeah, depends on the model. It can start from the 4,000 tokens to up to 126. That's for you.
Oh.
At the moment, you're using OpenAI. Are companies building private AIs for people to use based on that? Is it going to be possible to redirect queries to these private AIs so that you don't expose your data to the big bad world?
You mean like private deployments or?
Yeah, private deployment.
Mm-hmm.
I think
so you could
the Copilot Toolkit,
redirect the requests.
Yeah, so the Copilot Toolkit is a wrapper around the Azure OpenAI endpoints. So it directly connects to the Azure OpenAI resources. So, but
then it also depends if they're using the managed subscription. That we'll have to see. If you go directly through Azure OpenAI, then you can use any capability, right? But not through ours.
Okay.